few weeks ago, Xbox ended the year off with a bang, dropping the Xbox exclusive. Wait, what? It's not exclusive? I mean, it's not on PlayStation, is it? Oh, it's not yet. Xbox ended the year off with a bang, dropping the timed exclusive Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And let me tell you, it's pretty good. Actually, let me keep it all the way real with you. It's way better than I expected. We first heard about this project a few years ago, and those early trailers gave us absolutely nothing to go off except the fact that it was being made by Bethesda. Over the next year or so, more details came out about this mystery game, one of the biggest being that this game was planned to be first person. Oh, the game's doomed! That's what the video comment and tweeting section of the gaming community was saying at the time, at least. And then time passed and it finally comes out, and Bethesda actually dropped a banger for us. Now granted, the majority of the development credit has to go to Machine Games here, the same team behind the Wolfenstein games over the past decade, and if there's anything they know how to do well, it's fluid and fun first-person action, so kudos to them. Bethesda took more of a flat-out publisher role on this one, and as much as I love Bethesda for giving us Fallout and Starfield, sometimes it's okay to just be a publisher. So the game starts off with very familiar scenery, giving us an in-game remake of that classic scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, you know the one. And they actually nailed it. Rather than just make a whole game of movie memories though, they used that as a bridge into the actual story of the game. Turns out he not only has a group of ancient giants that speak Latin out for his artifacts, but also the Nazis, who are all looking to complete what is known as the Great Circle, a group of stones that can unlock an unknown power from centuries ago that could either save or destroy the world. They did a great job of making the game feel like an actual Indiana Jones movie, with set pieces in the Vatican, Egypt, Iraq, and more. The movement feels much smoother than previous trailers had shown, with first person not being a hindrance at all. Added to it, the camera zooms out to third person when performing certain actions like climbing, swinging, or handling certain puzzles. Exploration actually is pretty fun in this game with the first person perspective, and between looking for collectibles like artifacts and medicine bottles, which I did a horrible job of keeping up with, the game will keep you on your toes and make sure you check every little corner and crevice like you're playing a 90s JRPG. I admittedly wasn't the best at always knowing where to go next, but as long as you remember to look up and down as much as you look left and right, you'll be able to figure your way out of most situations. They even had a couple of yellow paint moments near the end of the game, and I honestly was grateful for them in the rare moments that they happened. There's going to be a very special brand of people that's going to hate that I said that, but so be it. Troy Baker did an amazing job on Indy's voice acting as well.
Oh yeah? I wonder what else he lied to you about.
I'm sure there was also some help from technology that made him sound so much like Harrison Ford, but regardless, it was uncanny here, along with the face scan and facial movement really selling it well. The same can be said for side characters and enemies alike. The graphics are crisp. They're not groundbreaking in any way, but just really good at making this convincingly feel like what it is, an Indiana Jones adventure. That said, this is easily one of the best looking Xbox games this generation. Now, we gotta talk about the hand-to-hand combat, which is pretty on point once you understand it. If you follow me on Blue Sky or Threads, you might have seen that I posted about it being one of my gripes, but the truth is, it was a skill issue. I hate to say that, but I take the full blame on it. The key is, you just have to fight like you would in real life. You have to block, you have to parry, you have to dodge. You go in there trying to Mike Tyson brawl it out without any defense, it'll work against the regular enemies, but the bosses will do you like Evander Holyfield. And they don't give you an ear bite option. You have to start the fight over. I actually got stuck on the final boss fight of the game due to me basically winging fistfights the entire game. Then trying to do the same thing with Voss. It's impossible. You can't stumble your way through that fight. If you're not blocking and dodging, he gonna kick your ass. I actually had to end stream, sleep, and return the next day to beat him. Funnily enough, I beat him on the first try the next day, so yeah, lesson learned, kids. Food and rest. Get food and rest, and you can do anything in the world. I do still have one gripe though, and that's the lack of a manual save option. Everything is auto-saved via checkpoints, and I was not a fan of that at all. There was a certain part of the game where you're infiltrating a Nazi base, and it just so happened that I tried to be clever and distract them by throwing a piece of dynamite far back into the camp, thinking they would go back and investigate. But instead, they just rushed the tent that I was in. After getting mollywopped to death, I realized the game auto-saved after the dynamite throw. So I went through a loop of repeated deaths until I found a way to run all the way back to a cave that I previously visited to trick the enemy AI into abandoning their attack on me. The option to do a manual save before that throw would have just fixed the entire situation, but there is none in the game. As a result, I did choose to play the rest of the game a little more carefully, and I took less risk as a result. Just something for the devs to think about in the future of their games. The game took me about 18 hours to beat without really jumping into side quests and collectible hunting. I'm guessing it would be stretched out to maybe 25 hours if I did all those. And actually, a quick Google search says 100% completion can take up to 35 hours. Luckily for me, I'm no completionist. If you're not new here, you already know. I play for the story and the experience. And with that said, the story was worth it. I don't really do the whole rate this game out of 10 thing. What I will say is, if you have an Xbox or a PC, I can't find any good reason for you not to get this game, especially if you have Game Pass. This is quite possibly the first game I consider a must-have for Xbox owners, something I haven't been able to say about any franchises in this generation yet. But what do you think? Was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle worth the wait for you? Or were you expecting more? Let me know in the comments, and if you ever want to catch me playing these games live, you may be able to catch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/RobRegalPlus, as I do some streaming over there at times as well. Thanks for watching. Y'all be easy, and I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace. Copyright strike.